Hi there. You should have already looked at these graphs and tried to answer the questions on your own, because I want you to get a sense for the variety of rational functions that can be graphed and how different they look, at the same time as noticing what they might have in common. So hopefully you've already done that yourself, and we'll talk about the answers together. Question 1 asks, looking at the graphs, which have vertical asymptotes? Well, our vertical asymptotes would be these lines. So you can see that A and B and D and E and F. Whoa, all have vertical asymptotes. So all of them except for C, which have horizontal asymptotes. A. For B, it has a horizontal asymptote. Now with horizontal asymptotes, the asymptotic effect only applies to the ends of the graphs. Notice that this middle part crosses through the asymptote. That's okay with a horizontal asymptote, believe it or not. C has a horizontal asymptote. D does not, and there is not a part of the graph that is following a horizontal line, nor does E. F has a horizontal asymptote. So you can see for question 3 that the ones that have both horizontal and vertical are A, B, and F. The next question asks about slanted asymptotes. Here's a slant asymptote, where part of the graph, the ends of the graph, follow a slanted line. Maybe you're recognizing that, hey, all of these graphs had a horizontal asymptote or a slanted asymptote, but not both. And that is very true. A graph will have one or the other, but never both. Vertical asymptotes are a different thing, and they can occur at any time. But as far as horizontal and slanted, it's one or the other, but not both. And then we can see that letter C, graph C, had no vertical asymptotes. So here's what I want you to think about as far as graphs go, and this pertains to things we did in the last unit. Thinking about excluded values of a rational function, the excluded values came from the denominator. And it's those excluded values that would create a vertical asymptote. So the excluded values would create a vertical asymptote. So question 1, how many factors would the denominator of the function represented in graph A have? That denominator would have one factor, because there is one asymptote, which means there was one excluded value. Whereas question 2, B has two vertical asymptotes. That means there were two excluded values, which then means there would be two factors in the denominator. D also would have two factors in the denominator because of the two vertical asymptotes, which represent two excluded values. E would have one factor in the denominator. F would have two factors in the denominator. C doesn't have any excluded values. So that's an interesting question I'll let you think about. It means that it's still a rational function, so it has a denominator, and the denominator has a variable, but the denominator does not have a factor that can be solved with real numbers. So it has a factor that does not provide any real values of x. So think about that. It'll show up as we start to graph throughout the rest of the unit.